You're listening to Miss Style, Strength, and Grace with Deidra Murphy. This is your one-stop shop for style, fashion, health, and fitness. Deidra's passion is to help empower women to reach their fullest potential, both inside and out. Deidra and her guests will be discussing how to develop your style, health, and lifestyle hacks to energize your day and inspire you to keep reaching higher levels of success. Deidra is a professional fashion stylist, health guru, and Mrs. Washington 2017. It's time to get open and honest with Deidra.
Well, hello and welcome, lovely. Today I'm super excited as the weather is changing. Actually, here at my house, the other day it was about 50 degrees and I thought, wow, spring's coming super early. As I record this podcast, it's February. Valentine's Day hasn't even come yet. And the weather turned from 50 degrees one day to literally waking up to a dusting of snow, at least at my house, the next day. I don't live in Denver, but I feel like that saying is true where I live. If you don't like the weather, wait an hour and it will change. I remember the first time I heard that I was in Colorado, and it really did happen. One day I was wearing just a lightweight sweater in December, and then the next day it was snowing like crazy in Denver. You never know what you're going to get. But this got me to thinking about layering. Layering for clothing is essential not just for warmth and the changing seasons and transitioning, but also for multiple outfits and helping to expand your existing closet. I get asked all the time how I learned how to layer in ways that not only add depth and dimension to an outfit, but don't add bulk and extra girth. And this is exactly what I love to teach clients, both virtually with my online programs, but also in person. And I don't know if I can pinpoint the exact moment when I learned how to layer. It really just happened over time. I think it all started when I was back in college and I worked at a major chain clothing store called The Buckle. Now, if you are familiar with that organization, I worked there for about 6 years in total. But back then we were really well known for our denim and we specialized in Lucky Brand jeans. Oh yeah, I think I just dated myself right there. But they were really popular back then. And I loved helping guests and customers find the perfect fits. So not only did I help customers, but I also did the weekly window mannequins as a brand ambassador and a second assistant manager in the store that I worked in. It was my job to set the tone for our team and our expectations to the employees. So I made it my own personal goal every day to wear at least 10 things that showed on my outfit. And not only did this help my outfits become more visually appealing, but it also helped me become the number one salesperson in our store and in our area. But, obviously customers would see pieces from the floor on me and on my outfit and how I chose to style them and wear them. But it also gave me more authority as a sales associate because customers would see an outfit on me and then they wanted to replicate it. And they would go, okay, I want this, and this, everything that you're wearing. But, going back to my point here, I think the most important thing it taught me was how to get the most out of my wardrobe. So back then I was a newly graduated college student and I was limited on money and I didn't want my entire paycheck to just go back to the store. So learning how to layer items in new and interesting ways made it feel like I was wearing a new outfit to work every day, even if my items were older. Now that I own my own personal styling business, this is a huge portion of what I teach clients. Layering is seriously the key to making your wardrobe work in multiple ways. It's what takes an outfit from day to night by a few simple additions or even losing layers. And it's what makes a capsule closet work, a travel wardrobe work, and it even helps with transitioning seasons, such as, waking up to snow. So today I'm going to try and share as much knowledge as I can in, under 30 minutes and tips about how to layer with ease that, again, not only adds depth, dimension, and conversation to an outfit, but doesn't add girth. We never want to add extra bulk and girth, do we? So number one, this is what I teach my clients when we're doing what I call a closet remix session, or sometimes I refer to it as like closet shopping. And this is where we make new outfits without even buying new pieces for their wardrobe. So I teach them how to pick a star or a key piece for the outfit. So whenever I'm doing this session, I pick one key piece and I start building outfits around that piece. And once I've exhausted all the different ways that I can wear and combinations that I can make with that piece, and I've taken all the pictures, then we take a new star piece or key piece and I start working with that. So that's my number one tip is pick your beginning star piece and start adding layers around that piece so that the whole outfit seems cohesive and like you were intentional about it. So when you start with that one key piece, you want to make that piece pop or accentuate. So for instance, if your key piece is a printed blouse with maybe a blue and pink floral pattern, start picking out other items that will pull out the colors that you want from that top. So maybe you want that subtle blue in the floral pattern to pop out. Go to your layers and pull out a blue cardigan or maybe a blue blazer to help pop that color out of the blouse. Then you can add bottoms. Maybe you want to do blue trousers rather than denim because maybe you have a business meeting or a client that day. Done and done. Then when you keep adding on to the rest of your outfit, you go until you reach my rule of 10, which I'm going to talk about that very last because it's kind of the big encompassing rule that I want to reach at the very end here. So usually I suggest that the key or star piece start out as a lightweight top so that the rest of the outfit isn't adding bulk. And again, I usually suggest something, you can have a pattern, it can be neutral, it can be solid, and depending on the weather too, it can be sleeveless, sleeves, have a 3/4 sleeve, depending on the weather, but you want the outfit to build around that. So once you've picked your kind of base, as I would like to call it, or your key piece, then you start adding other layers like toppers. So maybe a soft cardigan or a sweater. If you're into different colors, this can be a great opportunity to mix in a bold pullover or a really interesting jacket to help, add some flavor, personality, and pop to your outfit. And also, I would recommend, adding in something that's going to reach the level of what you're doing that day. So for instance, if you're going to work and you have a business meeting, maybe you're going to go to your blazers rather than a denim jacket. Or maybe you're going to grab a cardigan because you are in a really corporate business setting versus, I'm going to throw in a leather jacket. So you just kind of pick what your flavor is and what your standards are in your community and what you're doing that day. I hope that that's making sense. My next tip is if that initial piece or shirt or blouse has a collar, try pulling a sweater over that you can fold the collar over the sweater, such as a crew neck sweater. And this will also help with textures because you can mix lots of different textures when you're mixing a blouse with a knit. So maybe your first blouse is a silky material or even just kind of a flowy material. It's softer. And then you can add it with a knit, like a cable knit sweater or a cable knit cardigan or any sort of knit texture. And it's going to help with mixing of the textures to add more of a depth to that outfit rather than feeling really frumpy. At this point, you can even add a belt. This is my next big tip is adding belts can be a game changer. I recommend having at least one skinny width belt and one that's a little bit wider, but really no wider than an inch or inch and a half, especially not the 4-inch wide stretchy belts that we used to wear back in the day. You remember those. Try to stay away from those if you can, because those actually add extra bulk where we don't want them because our skin tends to fold over the belt in a non-complimentary way. But if you just have a skinny width belt or even 1 inch or maybe 2 inches at max in width, you can do a lot with it. So if you're wearing, pants, then typically you would tuck the shirt or your blouse into the pants and you would add the belt to the loops of the pants. But if you're wearing a skirt or a dress, maybe try belting over your layers to keep from losing your shape. So if you're wearing the skirt or the dress, add the belt on at your natural waistline, even over the sweater or the cardigan that you're wearing. And you can even do this with a slouchy sweater. So say you have kind of a slouchy oversized sweater, adding a belt and then kind of ruching the sweater around your waistline from the belt will actually slim you down really instantly and really effortlessly. now that you've got your key piece or your blouse, then you've added your topper, maybe even a belt. Now you can add a jacket or a coat. Again, I would suggest here it being a neutral color so it will complement anything nicely. So definitely something in camel, black, navy, even olive green is a neutral color. And here's a little style tip for those that are daring. Maybe try a trench coat in this option and belt over the trench coat. I know it sounds kind of crazy, but it would actually nip you in at the waistline and keep those layers underneath in place. My next way to layer is by adding a scarf, and there's so many different ways to wear a scarf. You can literally just Google how to tie a scarf, and there's millions of videos out there, and it just shows all the different ways that you can tie a scarf around your neck, whether you wear it like a poncho or you sling it over one shoulder and then add a really pretty pin or a brooch, or you can just do the simple kind of figure 8 around your head, or take a scarf that's not an infinity scarf, tie it together and loop it around your neck in kind of a figure 8, and now you have an infinity scarf. There's so many great ways to add scarves to outfits that, like I said, I would suggest Googling it and just picking some of your favorites and having those as your go-tos for ways to add a scarf. Now, when you're adding a scarf, the general rule of thumb is like mix a solid with patterns. So if your outfit, like your blouse or your sweater or even your jacket, has a print or a pattern on there, then I would do a solid color scarf, and then vice versa. If you're wearing mostly solids, or if you're comfortable mixing prints, which we'll talk about in a little bit, then I would do a printed scarf instead of just a solid. But I mean, obviously you can do solids on solids, and that's more of a color blocking idea, but just to help create more interesting vibes to your outfit, try mixing like that. Plus, a scarf is a great little add-on if you're traveling. So I always travel with a scarf because I get cold on planes. And so it's a great little thing you can whip off your neck and use it as a blanket, or even roll it up nicely and use it as like a little pillow around your neck. So definitely travel with a scarf, especially if you're traveling overseas. Think of a scarf like the frosting on a cupcake. It always helps to add that sugary sweetness on top. From here, you've already added your bottoms. So you're whether you're wearing pants or a skirt or a dress, whatever it is, and then sprinkle on your accessories. So here's where you definitely want to take your personality into consideration, but some great ways for layering jewelry is to layer, say, a long necklace with shorter ones, or add on an arm party of bracelets, a watch, rings, etc. But like I said, this is totally personal. So if you prefer maybe gold jewelry, then maybe stick with your gold. Or if you prefer silver, stick with your silver. But don't be afraid to even mix metals. That's definitely trending, and it's an old faux pas that you can't wear, say, gold and silver together. You can definitely mix metals, so don't be afraid of that. But either way, make it personal to you. You can go subtle or go statement and wear, a big collar statement necklace that goes over like a Peter Pan collar or has a lot of bling. Like, make it personal for you. Okay, now that you've got your outfit all done, you've got your key piece with your layering sweater or cardigan, or your jacket, your belt, you've picked your pants or your skirt or your bottoms and your shoes. Now, I have some general layering tips for when you're doing all this. Number one is keep the underlayers more fitted to keep your shape looking slim. So for instance, a long-sleeved body-conscious t-shirt will layer really nicely under sweaters and even under dresses without adding bulk. Or even finding like a really slim fit turtleneck. That's a great way to add warmth in the winter without adding a ton of girth to your body. If you're concerned about your waistline, try to top off your look with something belted. We talked a lot about belts before, but every woman can belt. For dresses and skirts, belt at the natural waistline. So a lot of people might say, I don't know where my natural waistline is, or I don't have a defined waist. You really do. It's just about finding it. So if you were to do, I'm a little teapot, where you stick your fist in your waist and your hand is out and you're like, tip me over and pour me out. Right where you bend and that natural indent happens, that's where your natural waistline is. So if you're wearing like skirts and dresses, try to belt right there. If you're wearing pants, trousers, jeans, typically these items will have belt loops. So you'd want to belt where the loops are, and try to do a front tuck, if not an all the way tuck around with your blouse, to help accentuate your waist and not lose that shape for yourself. Do play with length and proportion. So try a long tank, maybe underneath a cropped sweater, or a long duster sweater over a shirt that's tucked into your pants. Mixing something long with something short is a great way to add visual appeal, and to, if you're shy about, maybe the cropped trend with tops, layer over something really long, and then you don't have to worry about showing a lot of skin. Vests are an easy way to add layer without adding bulk. I know I always love my fur vest, especially in the wintertime. It just adds that extra little dimension to an outfit, and it keeps me from getting overheated too. So look for, maybe a vest it could be any material. It could be denim, it could be a fur, it could be even a suiting material that's in a vest, like kind of a menswear inspired sleeveless blazer. But that is a great way to easily, up level your outfit really quickly. And do play with texture. It's best to incorporate a mix of materials and textures when styling a layered look, because if you use all of the same outfits, you'll come off as really heavy and dowdy, which adds the appearance of unwanted, girth and weight. So easy texture pairings are, flannels and knits and sweaters, or silky textures with fur. Velvet and lace with leather look phenomenal. Denim and suede go really well together. There's so many different combinations. I could spend hours probably just naming them all, but do mix textures. It's totally okay. All right, I know I mentioned it before, but my last tip is the rule of 10. So if you forget everything else, and this is the only thing you remember from today, it will be the number one difference maker from taking your outfits from drab to fab in like less than 5 minutes. It's what makes an outfit feel polished and pulled together. So the rule of 10 is pretty simple. Get to 10 things. Now, undergarments don't count. So the bra and undies, sorry ladies, they don't count. But anything that shows on your outfit counts. But pairs of items count only as one. So for instance, a pair of shoes only counts as one item. A pair of earrings is only one item. But start counting up. So you get, your shoes, maybe your pants, your belt, a blouse, sweater, scarf, earrings, watch, bracelets. If it's like a chunk of bracelets, that kind of only counts as one. Sometimes if you have more than, say like 3 or 4, then you can maybe count it as 2, but count it all up and try to get to the number 10. And it really is a difference maker for you. And you'll see how your outfit just will really start to pop. So then I even have a challenge. I always tell this to people, like, style up an outfit, get to that number 10, feel really sassy and like you're looking phenomenal, but then lose all the little pieces, the scarf, the eyewear, even the bangles, the ring. Lose all those little extra add-ons and just get down to the bare bones of what you're wearing, and you'll see how your outfit has lost all of its pizzazz. So try it out, and then once you get your outfit looking on point, schedule a girls' night or Galentine's or date night or whatever, and get to the house and show that new outfit. So the biggest thing to remember is to try and think outside the box, and don't be afraid to break the rules. I actually have a rules to break ebook. So if you go to my website, stylebydeidra.com, you can find my free ebook there. And I talk about my biggest style rules, so-called rules anyway, to break. And that'll help you with this realm as well. But even if you try out an outfit and you hate it, or you felt really weird all day, nobody's going to die. Just take note of what you didn't like, or maybe you kept fidgeting with the belt or something fell off. Just remember that and try something different the next time. Nobody's going to die. You might feel like a fashion victim, but the next day is a new day and you can try out something else. Now, remember, I also have a YouTube channel, and these are the types of tutorials that I share on film every single week. And actually, just last week, I shared a video called How to Mix Prints. So this is an easy way to kind of get you going in the realm of layering, mixing prints and textures. And I show you examples so you can see them. I know some people are more audio, some people are more visual. So if you're a more visual person, definitely check out my YouTube channel. I will make sure that I include the link to that in today's show notes, so that way you can just click that, check it out. I will also include the link to my ebook in the show notes as well. So I appreciate all of your listening, and I hope you have a great rest of the day and start learning how to layer like a pro.
Hey ladies, thanks for listening, and we hope you enjoyed today's episode. To help empower more women, please be a doll and rate, review, and subscribe to this podcast. For show notes and other free resources we mentioned today, go to stylebydeidra.com.